I built 3 mid-6-figure real estate businesses, none of which would have existed had I not started a YouTube channel. And no, I didn't go viral, I didn't look super polished, and honestly, I wasn't the expert in a lot of stuff in the beginning, but because of consistency and because of just getting it started, it created more opportunities than I could have ever imagined. Today in this video, I'm gonna bring you the power of what YouTube did for these businesses, how they were created, and also what they were so you can start to see that in your own real estate business. And stay to the end where I blow your mind about a stream of income that created over 6 figures for me per year, and it was all because of that YouTube channel. Hey, what's up? If you're visiting this channel for the first time, my name's Kyle Stanley. I help real estate professionals start a YouTube channel and make it their #1 marketing source so that they can get more deals and create more opportunities for their real estate brand. Now, the YouTube channel that I'm gonna be referencing today was the Fearless Investors. It's still alive today. I sold that business back in 2023, but when I had it, it was right around 15,000 subscribers, which, if you know anything about YouTube, is not that many subscribers. Honestly, if you don't have over 100,000, then you're probably not that well known. Yet at just 15,000 subscribers in less than 4 years, I was able to build these 6-figure businesses, one which actually reached to 7 figures, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I was able to use this YouTube channel as a business asset, not a viral machine to create these businesses. Long story short, if you see YouTube at the end of this video the way that I see it, you're gonna notice that 100 really quality views is way better than 100,000 views of unqualified, viral, unengaged viewers. So let me take you back to the beginning, because in 2019, that's when I started my YouTube channel, and it started only about 3 or 4 months into my real estate journey. So I remember it like it was yesterday. It was 2019. My dad had just passed away. I was living with my mom to just kind of be an emotional support for her, and I had just started this real estate journey, and I'm sitting on my bed, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, how am I going to stand out in my market? There's so many top level investors in this market. How am I gonna be able to get deals? How am I gonna be able to learn fast? How am I gonna be able to be a top dog in this market when there's already so many? And so I was feeding my mind with a lot of podcasts. On this particular day, I was listening to Bigger Pockets. And a guy that was on there that is now a friend of mine today, Travis Chappell, he said something that has still stuck with me to this day. He said to Brandon Turner on this episode, if you start a video podcast, you actually get to have time with high-level entrepreneurs that wouldn't usually give you their time or would charge you a boatload of money to do so. Why is that? Well, because even if you have a small audience or a really big audience, if you have people on your show, on your channel, they see it as an opportunity to bring their brand to your audience and thus get more eyes on what they're doing. So at this moment, I just remember like leaning forward into my phone because I was listening on the audio podcast and like eyes wide open and just being like, oh my gosh, that's it. That makes so much sense. I've been this guy that, just like anyone, right? Can I pick your brain? Can I sit down? Can I buy you lunch? And none of these high-level entrepreneurs, none of these high-level real estate investors really value that. They don't value a free meal, but they would value if I had an audience that would listen to what they do and maybe become a customer of theirs, maybe help them raise money for a deal. Maybe they've got a coaching program. My audience could be that value for them. And because of that, I wouldn't have to ask to pick their brain. I would say, hey, do you want to be on my show? So literally, I started the Fearless Investors YouTube channel. At the time, it was called Fearless Flipping, because I just wanted to sit down with high-level real estate investors and go faster. I wanted to learn faster. I wanted to move faster. I wanted to collab with them and maybe do deals with them. So I want to pause for a second, and I hope you're having the same aha moment right now that I did back about 6 years ago as I make this video. And that is, if you just use your channel as an opportunity to collab with high-level real estate professionals so that you can move faster, collab with their audience, collab with them to do more deals, then already it doesn't matter how many views or subscribers you get on your channel. It matters because you've built relationships with people that usually wouldn't have given a crap about your time. And this was the only vision I had for this channel. I had no vision of actually building up a huge audience. I had no vision of any of the other businesses that I'm about to share with you that I ended up creating. But because of this mindset, it was the biggest decision I ever made for my life, for my real estate career, because it led to these other businesses, these opportunities. Why? Because I started to build an audience organically. So let me connect the dots for you right here. I started the YouTube channel, I had high-level guests on that channel, and I interviewed them. That allowed me to build relationships with those guests. A lot of those people are still friends of mine and still do deals with me today. Then, because my audience was seeing me with these high-level entrepreneurs and real estate investors, they said, I think Kyle has something here. I think he's a credible person. I think I can trust him. I built credibility. And that really came through consistency and making sure that I was posting again and again every single week. And then the final step that happened was that they started to see me grow in my journey because of all these people that I was interviewing, right? I was starting to build my knowledge bank, and eventually my audience saw me as the expert. So when my audience saw me as the expert, what did they want to do? They wanted my time. They wanted to engage with me because now, just like I wanted high-level entrepreneurs and real estate investors on my show, now my audience saw me as that person and wanted my time so that they could start their real estate journey and build their real estate business. And how did I give them that opportunity? Well, very simply, I just gave them options to be able to engage with me off of YouTube. We call these lead magnets that essentially start what's called a sales funnel. Because Airbnb was what I was doing, I provided them with an Airbnb calculator. I provided them with lists of ways that you could find out if your Airbnb was going to be a good fit or going to be a good investment. And I also gave them opportunities to book calls with me. Every time someone took this step, they had to give me their name and their email address, thus building up my list. That list went from 0 to 1,000 in the first year, and then 1,000 to 55,000 in the next 2 years. That's right, I just said 55,000 people. This is the power of building an audience, because I now had 55,000 people that were ready to basically be a customer with me. Now, how did I do this? I use what's called Go High Level. I'm giving you a free training and a free 30-day subscription to Go High Level. Just click on the link down below. I've got it in the comments and the description. But basically, Go High Level is your sales funnel software. You can make websites. You can essentially build these lead magnets, create the automations for the emails, and drive people down your sales funnel to eventually become a customer with you. So whether you're a realtor looking for more clients to buy more houses, or you're a real estate investor looking for people to invest with you and to raise money or to maybe bring you deals, this is what you want to use, is Go High Level. It's super affordable, it's super easy to use, and they have such a great customer service team that you don't have to be an expert. They can do things for you or with you. Just go ahead and get started today. Free 30-day trial down below with a free 30-minute training. So the first business I want to talk about is my investments business. And this was one that I was already doing when I started my channel. And the channel didn't create it like it did the other two that I'm going to show you, but it definitely 10x'd it very, very quickly. And I still remember the first time that I could kind of tell, like, oh wow, my channel really got me in the room with big dogs. I got invited by a wholesaler to a potential flip, and it was one of those that he was only bringing serious buyers. He brought some of the top flippers in the area to see this property, and myself and about 10 other top dog flippers that had done really like 50 plus deals, maybe even that year. And here I am, like, I've done 1 or 2 deals. And I was like, why am I here? Why? Because I had started this channel. And so the wholesaler that saw me with this channel, he already knew I didn't do as many deals as the other guys, but he saw that I was serious. So it was this act of creating a channel and being dedicated to it that showed my work ethic, that showed things within just my local market that I was willing to do that other investors weren't willing to do. So I was already, like I said, trying to stand up and stand out compared to other investors, and it was already helping me out right away. But then as I grew into Airbnb, and then I started sharing my deals, and I started showing the numbers, and I said, hey, this is the kind of ROI I'm getting, this is the kind of money I'm putting down, this is the kind of deals that I'm doing. When I did that and I showed deal breakdowns and I just gave people an opportunity to see exactly what I was doing, what did they start doing? They started saying, how can I be a part of those deals? So from then, anytime I needed money for deals, what did I do? I just went to my YouTube channel. I went to my email list. I went to both of those things and I said, here's a deal. I'm looking to raise money on it. Are you interested? So just to summarize, it wasn't just money coming to me. It was deals coming to me. It was collab opportunities, joint ventures. All of these things happen in my investment company, which allowed me to grow that company to a place where I could basically sell my other 2 businesses that I'm going to show you here in a second and say, I can live off of the money in my investment company. Number 2, and this was something I never thought I would ever do, and it was a service-based business. Service-based in what? I was managing other people's Airbnbs in my market. Why did that happen? Well, because when people wanted to know more about what I was doing, they went to my YouTube channel and they watched They just watched for hours and hours and hours. And then they said, you know what? It looks like Kyle knows what he's talking about. I'm gonna go buy a property and I want him to manage it. Or I already have a property and I want him to manage it. Think about how much time it would have taken me to sit down with each one of those people and explain to them why I'm an expert, how I operate my business, what typical ROIs are, and all of the ways in which I do business. Instead, people would go and just watch the YouTube channel. Or if a lead would come to me, I would send them to the YouTube channel. And then they would come back to me and be like, yeah, I just watched like hours of your videos and yeah, you definitely know what you're doing. So we're ready to go ahead and invest with you, or we're ready to go ahead and buy a property and have you manage it. It was my best salesperson too. I didn't have to do any selling. People came to me already warm. They already said, I know what I want. But the thing about this is that I would have never started this service-based business had I not started a YouTube channel, because it was actually one of my mentors that came to me and said, hey, I've been watching your YouTube channel and I've been seeing the ROIs you've been getting on these deals. I don't have time to do all this stuff, but would you do it for me? And I said, I've never thought about that. That's kind of like property management, I guess, but I could try it. And that's exactly what I did. I tried it for one person. They loved the results. And what did they do? They went and told other people. And then other people started seeing, as I was, again, sharing my journey on my YouTube channel. Now I'm doing this thing called co-hosting. That was the fancy word for managing other people's Airbnbs. They started to say, how can you do that for me too? So essentially, YouTube at that point became kind of like my video resume. And instead of me having to spend a bunch of time with those potential clients and showing them what I could do, how I could help them, and why I was an expert, I would just send them my YouTube channel and they would see, this guy's an expert. This is a guy that I trust. This is a guy that I would like to have manage my property. And the last business that I never saw coming and honestly ended up being the most lucrative from a cash flow standpoint was coaching. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't really want to be a coach. I don't want to spend my time coaching. And my answer to you on that is, why the hell not? You have a story. You have people coming to you. Literally, what happened to me was that I didn't put out an offer. I didn't put out anything. I didn't say, hey, I'm gonna start coaching. People started DMing me. People started emailing me. People would book calls with me from my YouTube channel. I would give them that opportunity and they would say, hey, you have a lot of knowledge. Would you consider coaching me? And I said, well, what would you kind of like want from a coaching relationship? What does that look like? And they told me the transformation that they wanted. They wanted to go from 0 Airbnbs to 1 Airbnb. And I said, well, yeah, I can do that. Let me put something together. And before you know it, I'm putting out a $3,000 offer. And I'm putting down a $5,000 offer. And then at one point I had a $10,000 offer. And so I had hundreds of people sign up for my coaching, making close to $250,000 to $300,000 of cash flow, over $500,000 gross by the end. And this was a company that took very little of my time. And I was already making videos on YouTube. I was already doing this. So I didn't have to go and create more YouTube videos. I didn't have to start saying like, oh, come and take my coaching program. I just kept on adding value and people would get in my sales funnel, which again, go high level, get started, 30 days for free down below with a 30-minute free training. And then they would say, yeah, I want your coaching. It sounds very simple. It wasn't that easy, but it was very simple. And when people get results, what do? They tell their friends, they tell everyone. And so this thing just grew exponentially on its own due to the fact that I was just adding so much value in my YouTube channel. So again, if you're thinking to yourself, I'm not a coach, I'm not a consultant, sure, that's fine. But I would just add the word yet onto the end of that, because you can learn anything. And if it's gonna create $250,000 to $500,000 per year in the first few years, why wouldn't you wanna go after that? So all I'm saying is go into YouTube with this mindset of I'm just gonna add value, and you will start to see these businesses sprout out, maybe even other ones that I don't mention here, if you just give free value. And because you stayed to the end, I'm going to give you my bonus now. And the great thing about the bonus is that they are all intertwined. It's called affiliate commissions. When I have someone that I personally cannot service, I cannot help them, but I know someone that can, or I invite people onto my channel that help, let's say, people get into land investments, or people get into storage facilities, or buying mobile home parks, or multi-unit apartment complexes. I don't do that. I don't help that. I don't have a service for that. I don't have investments for that. I don't have a coaching program for that. But because I brought people onto my channel that do those things, and they charge a high ticket amount, $5,000 or more, they would typically give me 10, 20, 30, maybe even 50% of whatever was purchased directly from my YouTube video that I did with them as money in my pocket for not doing any of the work. My top affiliate commission was just a CPA tax strategy business. Anytime someone wanted to learn how to create a business, what did they need to do? They needed to make an LLC. They needed to get a tax strategist. They needed to have end of the year taxes done. I would direct those people to that business, and every time they purchased, I would get a 25% commission. The average person that would spend money with that company was right around $3,000. I was making $750 per person I would refer to them, and sometimes that was in the neighborhood of 5 to 10 leads per month with that business alone. All over the place, there are opportunities for me to collab with anyone in this industry that provides a service or a product that I don't do myself. So with affiliate commissions, I made over 6 figures. There are some people I know that are making over 7 figures per year with affiliate commissions. This is the beautiful opportunity of having an audience on YouTube that trusts you, and when you bring people into that ecosphere, they automatically trust that person that you're bringing in. So honestly, what I'm saying is, just get started. Now that you've seen the power of what YouTube did and created for me with those businesses, I'd like to just kind of pause here and say, here's what I did right, and here's also what I would have improved if I were to go back to day one. Number one is that I started early. A lot of people probably would say, well, you know, you'd only flipped one house, you were getting ready to do your second deal, that's way too early, you're not an expert yet. Well, I just wanted people to see me on my journey. I just wanted to be genuinely me and show people that, hey, like I don't have everything figured out, but I'm working on figuring everything out, and all these people that I'm having on my show, on my channel, do have things figured out, so that's gonna move things faster. And I was just very genuine and open about that. Number two, the way that I actually got these guests was that I joined free services. Believe it or not, there are free services out there that will bring guests to you, high-level people. I got Brent Daniels, I got Rod Cleef, I got all these people that probably when you look at it, you would say, how in the world do these guys have the time to be on this guy's show? Well, it's because of free services out there that actually were bringing them to me and booking these guests for me. So I didn't really have to network my way to these people. It honestly kind of felt like a cheat code. The third thing I think I did right was that I viewed YouTube as a long-term relationship builder, not a get-rich-quick thing. It's funny, when you go into something and you have this idea of what it's going to be, and then you just see organically what it turns into, it can be really fun to go down that journey. I always think back to the pill, the blue pill, Viagra. A lot of you probably already know this, but that started off as a heart medication, and then they realized, oh, it doesn't really work that well, but it has this strange side effect that a lot of older men would probably like. That's kind of the way that a lot of good businesses get started. I started a YouTube channel thinking to myself, I just want to flip a lot of houses. It evolved into an Airbnb business, and that evolved into those 3 different businesses of education, raising money, and a service-based business. I just organically let it happen, but I came in with the right mindset of just building relationships. And the last thing is that I encouraged every single person in the beginning of my YouTube journey to book calls with me. I wanted to learn everything that my ideal audience, my ideal customer was struggling with, and I had no expectations of building any sort of offer. I just wanted to build better content for them so that I could build my audience, so that I could provide more value for the people that were coming on my show. And because I did that, I learned that these struggles that a lot of my audience was going through, I can help solve them. And that was such an amazing thing to experience, that if you are starting a YouTube channel and today you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to start this, or I have started this, and you're not encouraging people to book calls with you, you are missing out on a major opportunity to help people and maybe even start a service-based business of consulting and coaching. Now, there's 4 things I would do differently. The first is that I would have spent a lot more time learning the algorithm of YouTube and understanding exactly what my audience was searching for. A lot of times I would just think of something, or I'd have a guest on and I wouldn't really have a direction of where I wanted to go. So I was kind of like just throwing things at the wall and seeing what stuck. And now today, when I start a new YouTube channel, or I teach people how to start new YouTube channels, I really help them identify who are you serving, so that we know how to title and how to make thumbnails so that it will actually reach the people that we want to reach and hold them, because you're not one day making a video about how to raise money on a real estate deal, and then the next day you're making a video about why a Tesla is the best car out there because it's helped you save a bunch on gas. Like, that's just a mixed message to people as they look at your YouTube channel. So targeted titles and thumbnails, I wish I would have spent more time on that. The next thing I would have done is put more care into the quality of the videos. My sound wasn't great. My video was just basically from a Mac laptop, and the quality too of my interviews, I didn't do a lot of preparation. I didn't try to like find the best questions that would really get my interviewees to open up. I just kind of was winging it. And when I look back at those videos, I think to myself, I probably lost a lot of people that jumped on the video and then then either because of sound or video quality or the questions I was asking, probably lost interest. Number 3 is I would have focused on something I already talked about earlier, which is making really great sales funnels. When I finally realized the power of a good lead magnet and a good sales funnel, I realized just how many thousands of people I had probably missed getting their information and missed being able to make a customer out of them. Make sure that you're providing value to your audience from the start, enough value that they would want to engage with you and give you their name and email address so that you can start to sell products or services to them. And that was something that when I finally figured that out, I was like, oh my gosh, like how many people have I missed out on? So once again, if you want clarity on that, we've got the Go High Level free 30-day trial below along with a free training. I would really encourage you to go check that out. Lastly, I would have hired a YouTube coach. I did in the beginning, but honestly, like I wasn't taking it very seriously, and I kind of stopped after a couple months, and I just said, hey, you know, this isn't really like, I'm not trying to go big on YouTube. I just want to like use this as a way to meet people. And I think back on that, I'm like, I wish I would have stuck with that person. I wish I would have like actually listened to them. Why did I even spend money? Because I wasn't in a place at that point mentally to actually learn from them. But I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, all the things that I had aha moments on like 5 years later were things that she taught me on day one. And so like right now, what I would recommend, if you are in a place that you want to get this started, even if it's not me, if it's someone else, just learn from someone. Don't try to go figure it out on your own. Don't make the same mistakes that I just shared with you that I made. Really pay attention to how YouTube works, how the algorithm works, how to make a targeted audience so that you know that your video is reaching the right people and not just some random bots out there. And if you do think that I'm that person to help you out, I'd love to be able to have a conversation with you. Just go ahead and go to consultation.realkylestanley.com, or once again, that link is down below in the description and the comments, and I'd love to have a chat with you. Consultation call, let's just go ahead and talk about what your YouTube strategy would be. Either way, just get started, show up, and number one thing I have to tell you, because it's not just about the algorithm, but it's also about your audience, stay consistent. Post every week. If you can commit to twice a week, that's even better, but just do it consistently and always show up. Make it that red pen in your calendar and that non-negotiable that you're never going to skip, because that's what's going to create trust and consistency with your audience. And if all that sounds great, then you're definitely going to want to check out this next video about my most profitable YouTube strategy for real estate coaches.